there is always one project that is really off schedule.
Welcome to Children, protect me, skip the where CTOs share the tales and the comments. So start a few big names, innovations unfold. How many CTOs will share their stories untold?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the How Many CTOs Does It Take podcast. My name is Scott Porad, and this is my trusty co-host,
Brad Hefta-Gaub.
Brad. I was thinking about the episode we did recently about systems thinking. And early in that episode, I talked about how systems consist of a few different people. I'm sorry, systems consist of two or more entities in a boundary, and that systems have unspoken rules and norms. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about an unspoken thing that surfaced in my workplace recently.
Oh boy.
It is extremely relevant to engineering.
Okay. I can't wait to hear about this.
It was a conversation about engineering velocity.
Okay.
And there were three people in the room, and all three of these members were senior leadership team members. And one person was saying, I want to get stuff done as fast as possible.
Okay.
And another person was saying, I want to maximize the utilization of the engineering team. And a third person was saying, I want things to be on time, delivered on time.
Okay.
Actually, the whole conversation started with somebody being unhappy that something was late, right? And the utilization person was kind of saying like, I'm okay with it being late because we're getting the most out of our people. And I was saying, as the engineering leader, I was like, well, wait a second. All I'm hearing from this whole company is they want things faster. They want velocity.
Right.
So do we want things faster? Do we want things on time? Or do we want to maximize the utilization of our resources? We can't have all three of those.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So I was just thinking of that because an unspoken thing surfaced, right? It was all kind of a thing we all had in our head, but we had never put it on paper. We don't need to put it on paper, but we never really actually aligned of how we wanted our system to work, right? And so here I am trying to figure out how to make stuff go faster. This other guy's trying to figure out how to maximize utilization of people, and this other person's trying to figure out how to get stuff to land on schedule. I thought that was interesting. Maybe there's not even a spicy topic in here for to discuss, but I just remembered our conversation and was like, oh, that's really fascinating. Here we have a system, software delivery, with norms or expectations that are not clear.
Yeah.
And I guess there is a question in here, which is, if you were the hand of God and could wave your magic wand, and which would you choose? Which would you choose? Would you choose delivering on time, maximizing the resources, or getting it done fast, or maybe how would you rank them, or how would you balance them, et cetera?
Man, that's an interesting
You want
question.
me to just say what I think?
Yeah, tell me what you think.
I think deliver on time with 80% accuracy.
I think you've said that before. You've always said like your metric for like engineering velocity is if you're hitting 80% accuracy, then I feel pretty good because it means you're not sandbagging. Because if you're 100%
Yeah,
accurate, you probably are sandbagging.
that's right. I can be 100% accurate, absolutely, right? Everything takes like 6 years. And so actually, it would still probably be late the rate we go. But nevertheless, I actually just think businesses depend on schedules, right? Marketing launches need to happen, customer service needs to get trained, seasonality happens, and customers need products, whatever. So I just think that companies, not just our company, every company needs. Okay, actually, I want to change what I'm going to say. Damn it, because I thought of another thing from that episode, which was innovation.
Yeah.
I think if you're doing innovation, it has nothing to do with any of these three, right? If you're doing innovation, innovation comes when it comes, so you can't try to be on time. And if you're doing innovation, you can't try to maximize your resources. You need to have a bunch of flexibility in there for people to fuck around and find out, right? And you know, and if you're doing innovation, you're not going to go fast because you're going to have to take time, right? So innovation is something different, actually. We're
Okay,
actually talking about we're on a manufacture now. Oh, this is fascinating. Another unspoken thing. This didn't even come up in our conversation. Here's another unspoken thing. Are we operating an innovation organization or a manufacturing organization?
oh, interesting.
Because you operate them differently.
For sure. Yeah, a manufacturing organization is all about optimizing your factory line, you know.
Optimizing one of these three things, right?
Yeah.
But none of these three things have to do with an
I
innovation organization.
Yeah, well, so let me give you my hot take with your original framing of it. If what I want maximum utilization, on time or speed. My first answer, I'm going to throw out maximum utilization because I don't even know what that means or why that's at all useful. That just means that you hired the right number. You hired exactly the people that you're using. Like I don't even that just doesn't feel like important at all. Like
Every resource is being applied to the highest priority thing 100%. There's no time in their day that is not being used for producing code.
Well, okay, I just am still throwing that one out. I just
Fine.
don't buy it. Like I just don't think that's a goal that anybody should
Well,
have.
push it
I
the other way around. Like if you had zero utilization, nothing would get done. So there has to be some utilization.
Right, but I'm just saying like the metric of 100% utilization just seems useless to me. I weigh like if I'm going really like guess what? Like it may be that I go faster when I'm slightly underutilized because the one person that does get utilized like slows us down or something like that. Now, obviously, we should probably, performance improve that person and get them out the door, but like I'm just not even measuring like how busy everybody was. That just doesn't seem right at all. Like
That is absolutely not a guess what. There is massive science behind that. To maximize the output of a system, you run between 50 and 80% utilization. And we all
exactly.
know this because we've all been in a traffic jam.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get that one out of the way. I'm not picking that one.
Okay.
So now I'm left with go fast or go on time.
Hmm.
Now, I think that's going to be stage dependent and project dependent. And I think that if it's early stage or experimental stage, or you're trying to find product market fit, or you're trying to find product market optimization, then I think you have to go fast. Like, because you just don't know. You're trying to get signal as fast as possible. And so I would much rather
Yeah.
optimize for give me the best shot at getting stuff done as quickly as possible, even if that means you're taking risks where sometimes you might miss something and miss the date.
Okay.
Because
So that's
like it
early.
doesn't
That's
help
early
me.
stage.
Yeah, that's early stage, or that's like the part, whatever stage you're in where you're kind of like trying to learn as fast as possible. To learn as
Right.
fast as possible, you need to produce as fast as possible.
So I would describe the first stage as your product market, exploring, searching for product market fit stage. And then you get into your next stage, which is your growth stage, right? You found product market fit and you're growing. Customers are adopting your product or
I still
service.
think that like depending on how I'm growing, like if the way I'm growing is I'm trying to find new innovations or new features or new things that will cause my app to grow or my product to grow or my business to grow, whatever that might be, I still feel like I'm trying to learn as much as possible. And again, I'm going to
Mhm.
stand with like if I'm trying to learn, if I need signal of any kind, whether let's say I've got product market fit, but now I'm trying to like land and expand, or
Mhm.
I'm trying to build into new segments of my market, right? I still feel like I'm gonna want faster, and I feel like, well, part of me, like the big showy launch has, like, I haven't seen the big showy launch be that effective at growing businesses anyway.
No,
And so therefore the only time that like my land exactly on time matters, I think, is when I've got these externalities of like the big showy launch or something like that.
it matters if there's some financial result tied to it that people are expecting.
Sure, of course, I agree with that. And that's about and so yeah, anybody listening to this who is looking to hire me as a fractional CTO, like, yeah, I'm not saying that you can just be completely willy-nilly and not hit dates at all, right?
Hmm.
But I just think that if you're moving, if you're optimizing your systems and you're optimizing all of your tech and your systems and your people to be able to move quickly, you're more likely to hit things on time.
Okay, here's a dynamic I've observed in a few different places. Observed it at Health Co. that we worked at, Healthcare Co. Whatever we call it. Starting to observe it a little bit where I'm at now. Okay, a company gets to product market fit. You're getting bigger. You got more customers, um, and maybe doing a lot of revenue, and you're still wanting to move fast, but quality becomes more important. And quality takes on some additional dimensions just besides the quality of your software, which includes the stability of your system. It also takes on like information security
Or the
and
quality of your training, or the quality of your documentation, or the
yeah. So I've seen what's kind of slows stuff down is all this quality stuff that gets out there,
well,
right?
this is, I think that
No,
same
guys, it gets
episode that
out
you,
there.
the episode that you were talking about, where we talked about this last, like one of the things I said was like, yeah, to make your engineering team go faster, you need to make sure you have the systems around it to go faster too. And one of those systems
Hmm.
I think is that launch system, whatever that launch system is, whether that's customer training, customer documentation, whatever that, there's some like that matters too, right?
Well, or actually, this is interesting. Back to that episode, you think about like maybe you're doing something in engineering and it needs a legal review or it needs a security review. That needs to happen lickety split.
That stuff has to happen really fast.
You know,
100%. Yeah.
lickety split.
Lickety split. Yeah, I mean, anyway, so I think my answer is go fast.
Yours is fast.
I'm gonna
Yours is
go
fast.
fast.
Optimize for going fast
Optimize for
at the
going
expense
fast
of schedule within reason. At the expense of
within
schedule
reason.
within reason.
Within reason.
What's your within reason?
I mean, I kind of like your 80% rule. That's not a bad rule.
So 80% would be if you said it was going to take a week, it could take 6 days. Or if you said it was going to take a month, it could take 5 weeks.
Exactly.
That's still pretty tight in our business, honestly.
That's pretty tight in our business. Or the other way to look at the 80% is I got um 80% of the stuff landed on time and 20% of the stuff
It's way off track.
was off track. And I should know that I'll know that 20% is going to be off track pretty early, right?
I was having a conversation with somebody outside our company the other day, a CTO whose CEO is very upset because some project was very off schedule and like didn't quite know what to do about it. I said, look, my experience, there is always one project that is really off schedule. There's always one there. It's like a conservation. There's always something going poorly. And if you get that one fixed, there's going to be another one going poorly.
Right.
And so somehow you just have to get the CEO to understand there's always in our business, there's always something not going right. And you just kind of have to be and you do your best to mitigate it and deal with it and get it back on track. But if your idea is that you can have everything always go smoothly, like you're in the wrong business. It's just not the way it works. There's just a conservation of projects that have gone off the rails.
Yeah, totally. And again, like not to necessarily belabor this point, but it's so often not about the code, right? It's so
Yeah,
often it. I mean, sometimes it's like you tried to take something on and it's like it actually was harder to build than you thought it was going to be.
yeah,
But more often than not, the projects that go off the rails are going off the rails because you didn't really know exactly what you were trying to build, right? Like a
yeah,
classic example of this is did you pre-sell something? Did you sell something to a customer before you actually had it nailed down, right?
yeah,
And then once the customer hears about it, then but you haven't really delivered it to them yet. Then next thing you know, it's like feature whataboutism, and you're like adding more and more features, and that's what's causing the project to get further and further off the rails, right? Like that happens
yeah.
all
I
the
th-
time,
I
all
think
the
the
time.
other place I've seen it happen is okay, early up front, someone makes a very coarse grained technical design. They make a bunch of assumptions about like, well, I think this is how this is going to work. And then they give a very rough estimate, like, yeah, I think this is how it's going to work. I think we can do this in a month, like so on and so forth. And then you get into it and you're like, oh, there's some bad assumptions in there.
Right.
Right. It turns out there's some bad assumptions in there. So, and I've seen that and then all of a sudden, the unraveling starts because you're like several stages down the process, but practically speaking, you actually need to go back to square one,
Yeah.
right? But you're not in a position really to go back to square one, and so now you're just like running as fast as you can to keep from falling off the back of the treadmill, and it just turns into a mess.
Yeah, totally. And I think that, the one thing I would say about that is, and I'm sure that this is consistent with your experience as well, is that like, um, when you have a big unknown, when you have unknown unknowns or you have known unknowns, like, man, try to front load those, right? Like front load
Right.
those as fast as you can so that you can, so the bad news can travel fast, right? And
Yeah.
it's such a rookie mistake to be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We think it's going to do this. We're going to do it this way. And then somehow like the team takes on like the easy parts first and they delay the
Oh
hard
yeah.
part. Then
Always do the hard parts first.
you're definitely going to get screwed in that case.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And now, Brad, I'm having a senior moment because as we were just talking there, I thought of another angle to bring up and I've forgotten it. And I think that that statement there in itself probably makes the least interesting podcast content in the history of the world. But I thought maybe by saying it out loud, it would come back to me, and it has not.
That you that you thought, oh, I have an idea of something I should say, but I forgot it.
I know. That's isn't that
Uh,
great? We should make a clip of that and put it all. This needs to be on our socials right here.
that
This
right
is how we're
there.
going to sell getting people to listen to this.
That's right.
Well, we wrap it there.
Wrap it there. A little mini episode on
Little mini episode.
little mini episode on go fast, break things.
Go fast and break things. All right. I'll talk to you soon, Brad.
All right, talk to you later, Scott. Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the How Many CTOs Does It Take podcast was produced and edited by Saffron Hefta-Gaub. Our theme song was AI generated by Brad. Please follow us on all the social media platforms at How Many CTOs Pod. You can find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X, TikTok, and Patreon, or at our website at howmanyctospod.com. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe on the podcast platform of your choice. Thanks for listening.